Good morning from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today we're going to be taking a look at this 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLS550. Now, this GLS550 is showing just over 61,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll be taking you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the exterior of the GLS, as well as showing you some of its more notable features. Now, of course, we'll start here by looking at the exterior condition. This vehicle's finished in a beautiful gloss white paint scheme. Not a whole lot of metallic to note in the paint, but I will say, as we look into that direct sunlight, really nice condition on this paint. Very few, if any, major imperfections to note. As usual, I'll take you really close to the panel so we can look for any irregularities in the way that light reflects off the panel, which would highlight any dings, dents, or scratching. As you'll notice, I make my way here to the back of the vehicle. It just presents beautifully here on the driver's side, and I absolutely love those little bit extra wide body panels there sticking out over the fenders. Adds a bit of an aggressive look, and it's sculpted really nicely into the rear bumper cover. Now we'll take a look at the 21-inch split 5-spoke AMG Sport wheels. I think these present absolutely beautifully, and you can see they have that nice two-tone finish with the gray metallic paint on the interior of the spokes and the barrel, as well as that nice brushed metal finish on the exterior face. That black Mercedes-Benz emblem in the center is a nice touch as well, and you can see absolutely no curb rash here at the rear wheel. It's a very similar story here at the front. Absolutely no curb rash to note. These wheels all present beautifully. And that will lead us here to the front fascia of the vehicle. Now, taking a look at the headlight lenses, not only beautifully designed with all of that nice technology in there, but also free of any discoloration, oxidation, or scratching in those lenses. Really adds a great look here to the front of the GLS. Looking at this nice grille, of course you have that Mercedes-Benz emblem just front and center, and this also doubles as a sensor for some of your driver safety features, as well as your radar guided cruise control. You also have all of your cameras, one here at the front, one under each mirror, and one at the rear, providing that nice 360 camera accessible through the infotainment. Looking at the general condition of this bumper cover, you'll find absolutely stunning paint condition, very few major rock chips or issues, a couple very light scratches there. But based on the mileage, really nothing out of the ordinary. It presents very nicely, especially with that nice chrome lip splitter panel just under the front bumper. I'll make our way to the passenger side of the vehicle, taking a look at this wheel with only the most minor of imperfections there around 1 o'clock, but largely presents just as nicely as they do on the driver's side. Again, looking really close to the panel, looking for any imperfections to note here. And here on the passenger side, there's only really one that I can note, a small crease just there in the top of the rear passenger side door. But other than that, just as the rest of the vehicle does, it presents absolutely beautifully, and another wheel here at the back in amazing condition. Now finally, we're here at the rear of the vehicle, looking at the hatch and all of the badging. You can see here the GLS550 badge, paired with some nice chrome accents, and then of course your 4Matic badge there on the right, of course, that describes the all-wheel drive system fitted to this vehicle. Also notice this very nice chrome little cover here to protect the area with which you'll be often picking cargo up and loading it into the back. That's going to protect any painted surfaces, and you can see that one is in relatively nice condition as well. Looking a bit lower, you can see a nice black diffuser panel flanked by 2 wide chrome exhaust tips and a brushed and chrome finish little diffuser there in the center. Taillight lenses are both perfect, just as the front ones are. So now we'll make our way into the interior, where you see this spec really come to life. An absolutely beautiful combination with that white exterior and the brown leather throughout the interior. You also have some beautiful contrasted stitching all around the seats and on the dashboard, which we'll cover in a moment. You can see the outer bolster is in amazing condition. That's usually where you'd find the most wear. And it's same story here at the passenger seat. That seat is in fantastic shape. Headrests look great as well. And I'll make my way into the vehicle. As you can see, that brown leather carries onto the door card. I think it's just the right amount of colorful leather here in the interior. It's not too much. The whole dashboard isn't a colored panel. It's just enough color to really add some personality here to the interior of the GLS. As I mentioned, some contrasted stitching on the dashboard, which is in amazing condition as well. Very subtle, but accents the rest of the interior absolutely beautifully in my opinion. So I'm going to start up the GLS using the start button here just under the steering wheel. As you can see, it fires up without any hesitation. Infotainment and gauge cluster fires up very quickly. And here you can see, if you see any flickering on the screen, that's only due to the camera's effect. Here to the human eye, it actually presents perfectly. This is a common issue we run into, but it's only due to the camera. The infotainment functions amazing. You can see here, if I throw it in reverse, you do have that 360 camera on the left and the reverse camera on the right. But let's take a quick general look at condition. Looking at the steering wheel switches, all of them are in amazing shape. No text on any of these buttons has faded or is worn out. You do have those nice gear selector paddles hidden just behind the wheel as well. Nice leather wrapped airbag cover here on your steering wheel, and a beautiful leather wrap on each side of the wheel as well. The remainder of the wheel is this gorgeous piano black wood grain finish. Looks very nice, and that plays beautifully with the other portions of the dashboard and door cards that wear that same material. There's a bit more of that here in the center console as well. Looking down into your control stack here in the center, you'll find all of the switches looking perfect. Very few dead switches to note, only just one, which is a nice thing, of course. You can see your heated and ventilated seats here for your front occupants. And your climate controls, just the same as the rest, all present beautifully. If I move this panel back, you see you do have a couple of cup holders as well as an ashtray and power outlet. And in the center console, not only do you have that gorgeous armrest with some nice storage in there as well, but you also have your infotainment controls, your drive mode selector, and a couple of suspension and drivetrain controls just there in the top right. Now, before we make our way up to the engine bay, a couple more things to mention. Of course, this is fitted with a beautiful Harman Kardon surround sound system. As one would expect in a vehicle of this stature, you really do want to have a premium audio system to go with such a luxurious driving experience. And lastly, looking just above my head, you do have gorgeous double panoramic sunroofs. There is a nice subtle cover that can shade you if the light gets to be a bit too much. And those both extend and retract perfectly fine, all one-touch operation using that switch. And they also open a little bit further as a power sunroof, letting in a bit of open air if you so choose. That opens while relatively slowly. It opens nice and quiet and without any problems. Again, one-touch operation to close and open all of these features. Same with all four windows here for your occupants. Next up, we'll make our way under the hood, taking a look at the absolute gem that is the engine in the GLS550. So I've popped the hood here at the nose of the GLS550, and we can take a look at the V8 turbocharged powertrain. Now, I've just driven this vehicle this morning, and let me tell you, this engine, as it is with every other 550 class Mercedes vehicle, is just an absolute pleasure. The torque comes in so low and so powerfully. It really can propel a vehicle of this stature, which is quite large, up to speed in a matter of seconds. It's really a very impressive powertrain, relatively reliable as well, especially in a European performance luxury engine such as this. It's a really appealing powertrain in anything with a Mercedes badge, but especially on a larger SUV such as the GLS. Looking at the condition here under the hood, very, very clean. All of the plastics are in great shape. You can hear it idling very happily. I'll let you hear it uninterrupted. All of the painted surfaces here under the hood shine just as nicely as they do on the outside. And looking at all of your hardware holding on the fenders, you can see no tick marks showing that those have been removed on the edges of those bolts. That's always a good thing to look at. As you can see, all that hardware looks perfect. Now I'm going to make my way to the rear because there is a lot to show you here. Starting by taking a look at your second row of seating. Again, equally stunning materials that you find in the front seating area. You also have this drop-down armrest and some more of that contrasted stitching I had mentioned before. Looking just above my head, another beautiful panoramic sunroof. And if I climb in, sitting behind where I would comfortably drive the vehicle, I still have an excess of legroom, which is great. I am about 6'4", and sitting behind myself, I have absolutely plenty of space. And this gives us a great look here at the front of the cabin. Just down here to my right, you do have some individual climate controls here for your rear seats. as well as some storage just below there and a power outlet. Also some climate vents hiding just above my head here in the ceiling. However, of course, being a GLS, there is another row of seating we must look at. So Mercedes has made this so easy. It really is just amazing how convenient they've made accessing your third row. This button here on the shoulder, all I do is tap this one time, and you'll see this operation begin where the seat's backrest folds over and then the entire seat assembly rolls forward. And this gives you amazing, easy access to your third row of seating. There are 2 seats here with the same gorgeous leather material that you find in the other rows. And you do have these leather-wrapped armrests as well as cup holders on either side. Now, just as easily as it was deployed, I can just roll that seat back, deploy the backrest back up, and then using this lever, I can recline it to match where I have that other side. So now as I make my way to the rear, using that switch underneath the Mercedes emblem, I can easily open up the hatch where we'll find loads of space here, even with the third row of seating up. But if you find yourself in a pinch and you really need to drop those seats down, there's no latches to fiddle with, no ropes to be pulling. All you do is reach over here and I can tap both of these switches, which will drop down both of those seats. Fully power operated, very, very easy to accomplish. You'll find here now a lot more storage space, and you'll find in the online photo set via alphacars.com pictures with that second row of seating down as well, and it's just an amazing amount of storage. You'll find the carpets all in fantastic condition and the original floor mats to go with them. Absolutely loads of space. And just to show you that it does function, pulling these switches one more time, I can easily deploy the third row of seating for my occupants that may need to use them. Lastly, one touch operation with this switch can either close the tailgate or lock the entire vehicle as well. So if you have any further questions related to this GLS550, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you'll find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.